Hi friends, good morning. Welcome to Shankaran IA Study Circle. This is Dr. Harinath Reddy, Director of the Institute. Today in this particular video, we will discuss about all the articles related to the Vice President of India. So the different articles in the Indian Constitution relating to the Vice President of India we will discuss. We will see what is there in each article relating to the Vice President of India. So let's get started. The first article, Article 63. Article 63. So Article 63 of the Indian Constitution says, there shall be a Vice President of India. There shall be a Vice President of India. So to have a Vice President for India, it is compulsory. It's not a choice. Then Article 64. Article 64 says, what are the functions of Vice President of India? What is that the Vice President of India do is, he acts as the ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha or the Council of States. So the prime function, the major function of the Vice President of India is to act as the ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha or the chairman of the Council of States. So that's what Article 64 says, the Vice President to be the ex officio chairman of the Council of States. Ex officio chairman of the Council of States. Remember, the Vice President of India, he is not a member of Rajya Sabha. Though he is not a member of Rajya Sabha, he acts as the chairman of Rajya Sabha. But if you compare this with Lok Sabha, Lok Sabha had speaker and also deputy speaker. The speaker and the deputy speaker, they shall be members of Lok Sabha. But here, the Vice President of India, who acts as the chairman of Rajya Sabha, is not a member of Rajya Sabha. Then, Article 64 also says, Article 64 also says, when the Vice President of India acts as the President of India in certain situations. For example, when the President dies in office, when he makes a resignation, when there is a death, resignation or removal, there will be a vacancy in the office of the President. In such a situation, the Vice President will act as the President of India. Similarly, there is one more occasion when the President of India is ill, when he is outside India, when he is not available for the performance of his duties, again the Vice President can act as the President of India. When he does that, he will not be able to get the allowances as the chairman of the Rajya Sabha. When the Vice President of India acts as the President of India, he is not eligible for the salary and allowances of the chairman of Rajya Sabha. That's what Article 64 says. Article 64 says, during any period when the Vice President acts as President or discharges the functions of the President under Article 65, he shall not perform the duties of the office of the Chairman of the Council of States. Again, this is one more important point. When the Vice President acts as the President, then simultaneously he cannot act as the Chairman of the Rajya Sabha. He cannot perform the duties of the Chairman of the Rajya Sabha. When the Vice President acts as the President of India, he shall keep away from the office of the Chairman of Rajya Sabha. He should not perform the duties of the Chairman of Rajya Sabha. That's one point. In addition to this, he shall not be entitled to any salary or allowance payable to the Chairman of Rajya Sabha under Article 97. See, Article 97 of the Indian Constitution deals with the salary and allowances of Chairman and Deputy Chairman of Rajya Sabha, Speaker and Deputy Speaker of Lok Sabha, and when the Vice President acts as the President, he will not be eligible to get the salary and allowances of the chairman of Rajya Sabha. He will be getting the salary and allowances as the President of India, as the acting President, according to what the Parliament fixes by law. That's the point here. So that's about Article 64. Then Article 97. So here we made a reference of Article 97. And what is Article 97? Article 97 deals with salaries and allowances of the chairman and the deputy chairman, speaker and the deputy speaker of Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha respectively. See, chairman, deputy chairman of Rajya Sabha, speaker and deputy speaker of Lok Sabha, they will be paid salaries and allowances as per a law fixed by Parliament. See here, there shall be paid to the chairman and the deputy chairman of the Council of States and to the speaker and the deputy speaker of the House of the People such salaries and allowances as may be respectively fixed by the Parliament by law. In case the salaries and allowances are not fixed by Parliament by law, they will be getting the salaries and allowances as according to what is mentioned in the second schedule. That's what Article 97 says. Article 97. Then Article 65. Article 65 speaks about the situations wherein the Vice President will act as the President of India. So the Vice President to act as President or to discharge his functions during casual vacancies in the office or during the absence of the President. So here there are two situations. If there is any vacancy in the office of the President, because of death or resignation or removal, then the Vice President shall act as the President. So if there is a vacancy in the office of the President because of the death, resignation or removal, the Vice President will act as the President. Then similarly, the Vice President will also act as the President in other situations, like when the President is unable to discharge his functions. So in the second situation, there is no vacancy in the office of the President. But the President is not able to discharge his duties for a number of reasons. He may be absent, he may be abroad, he may be ill, and then in such a situation, the Vice President will act as the President till the President resumes his duties. Then that's about 65. In addition to this, when the Vice President acts as the President of India in the above two situations, he will be eligible for all the powers and immunities of the President. The Vice President will enjoy the immunities and the powers which the President of India enjoys. And similarly, he is entitled to emoluments, allowances and privileges as may be determined by Parliament by law. So here you should remember, here it is not said that the emoluments, allowances and privileges will be like that of the President of India. No, it's not mentioned like this. But instead, the emoluments, allowances and privileges of the Vice President when he acts as the President of India will be determined by the Parliament by making a law. Till that is done, until provisions in that behalf is so made, emoluments, allowances and the privileges which are specified in the second schedule will apply to the Vice President. That's about Article 65. Then Article 66. Article 66, it speaks about the election of the Vice President. See, in the original Indian Constitution which came into force on 26th January 1950, in that original Constitution, it was provided for the election of the Vice President through the joint sitting of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So in the beginning, the Vice President is elected in the joint sitting of the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So this is replaced with the 11th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1961. So Article 66 is amended. Article 66 is amended. Article 66 is amended. How this is amended? Through the 11th Constitutional Amendment Act, Article 66 is amended, and now this amendment says the president is elected, the vice president is elected, the vice president is elected not in a joint meeting, but he is elected by an electoral college consisting of the members of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So this change was brought in Article 66 through the 11th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1961. In the earlier situation, the vice president is elected in a joint sitting of the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. But through the 11th Constitutional Amendment Act, it was provided that the vice president will be elected by an electoral college consisting of the members of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. That was one important amendment which was done in Article 66. Then Article 66 class 1 says, the vice president shall be elected by the members of an electoral college consisting of the members of both the houses of parliament in accordance with the system of proportional representation by the means of single transferable vote. The same procedure is being followed even in the election of the president. Proportional representation by means of single transferable vote. That's what Article 66 class 1 says. And then I told you, the Constitution 11th Amendment Act of 1961 has amended Article 66 class 1. And I told that the original Indian Constitution provided for election of the vice president through a joint sitting, but this was changed. The Article 66 was amended to provide that the vice president will be elected by the members of an electoral college consisting of members of both the houses of parliament. So the election of a person as president or vice president shall not be called in question on the ground of the existence of any vacancy for whatever reason among the members of the electoral college electing him. To achieve this, Article 71 is amended. So remember, 11th Constitutional Amendment Act has also brought in a very important change relating to the election of the vice president. So what is this change? The change is, in case if there is any vacancy, in the electoral college, say for example Lok Sabha is dissolved, when the Lok Sabha is dissolved, if elections are held to the office of the vice president for any compelling reason, then that cannot be questioned. So 11th Constitutional Amendment Act also said an election of the vice president by the electoral college cannot be questioned because there is a vacancy in the electoral college. So that's one more important change which was brought in through the 11th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1961. So this amendment was made to Article 71. So the same 11th Constitutional Amendment Act says that if there is any vacancy in the electoral college which is meant for electing the vice president of India, any election of the vice president by such an electoral college cannot be questioned on the ground that there is a vacancy in the electoral college. This also you should keep in mind. Then the vice president shall not be a member of parliament, shall not be a member of state legislature. If he is a member of the parliament and if he is a member of the state legislature when he got elected, as soon as he gets elected, it is deemed that he has vacated that particular house. So that's what this article says. The vice president shall not be a member of either house of parliament or of a house of the state legislature. And if a member of either house of parliament or of a house of the state legislature is elected as vice president, he shall be deemed to have vacated his seat in that house on the date on which he enters upon his office as vice president. That's one more important 66 class 2. Then 66 class 3 says qualifications to become the vice president. Shall be a citizen of India, must have completed the age of 35 years and he must be qualified, eligible to become a member of the Council of States or the Rajya Sabha. So there are three qualifications which were laid down. He shall be a citizen of India, he must have completed the 35 years of age, and in addition he shall be qualified to become a member of the Council of States or Rajya Sabha, that is 66 class 3. Then 66 class 4 says, a person shall not be eligible for election as vice president if he holds any office of profit under the government of India or the government of any state or under any local authority or even any authority subject to the control of any of these governments. But there are certain officers which are exempted from the office of profit. If you are serving as the President of India, if you are already serving as the Vice President of India, if you are serving as the Governor of the state, if you are serving as a minister in the union government or the state government, all these offices are exempted from the office of the profit, which means a president, a vice president, a governor, a minister in the union and the state governments are eligible to contest to the office of the vice president. They are not considered to be office of president. So the office of the president, vice president, governor, minister in the union government, minister in the state government are not considered to be the offices of the profit. All these people are eligible to contest for the election of the vice president. That's about Article 66. Then Article 67. Article 67 it speaks about the tenure of the vice president. See, the vice president will have a tenure of 5 years from the date on which he enters his office. So from the date on which he enters the office, he will have a tenure of 5 years. But the vice president can resign from his office by writing under his hand addressed to the president. So the vice president will submit his resignation to the president, and then the vice president, how he can be removed. That's one more segment of Article 67. Article 67 also says the vice president can be removed through a resolution passed in the Rajya Sabha by effective majority. What do you mean by effective majority? If you take the total strength of Rajya Sabha minus vacancies will give you effective strength. In the effective strength, more than 50% is effective majority. It is also said in the other way around, the then members of Rajya Sabha. Out of the total, the then members of Rajya Sabha, more than 50% shall pass that resolution. Then in the Lok Sabha, it needs to be passed by simple majority. What do you mean by simple majority? More than 50% of the members present and voting. So a resolution which is meant for the removal of the vice president can be introduced only in Rajya Sabha but not in Lok Sabha. Once it is introduced in the Rajya Sabha, it will be passed by effective majority. Then subsequently in the Lok Sabha, it needs to be passed by simple majority. Once this is done, the vice president can be removed through an order of president. Then in addition to this, there is one more requirement. Notice has to be given to him 14 days in advance. So before the removal of the vice president is taken up, 14 days in advance, notice has to be given to the vice president. Remember, in the Indian Constitution, the grounds for the removal of the vice president are not mentioned. For example, if you take the judge of the Supreme Court, judge of the High Court, there are grounds mentioned. Member of Public Service Commission, there are grounds mentioned. Proved misbehavior and incapacity. But when it comes to the office of the vice president, for the removal of the vice president, there is no specific ground mentioned in the Constitution. That you should remember. That's about 67. And in addition to this, the vice president can continue beyond 5 years if there is a delay in the appointment of his successor. So that's why Article 67 also says a vice president shall, notwithstanding the expiration of his term, continue to hold office until his successor enters upon his office. So even if the tenure of 5 years gets over, if his successor has not occupied the office, the vice president can continue beyond 5 years. That's one more dimension of Article 67. Then let's discuss Article 68. So when a vacancy arises in the office of the vice president, when elections are to be held. So if a vacancy arises because of the expiration of the tenure, then elections to fill the office of the vice president must be conducted in advance before the expiration of the tenure. But if any vacancy arises because of the death, resignation or removal, then elections have to be conducted to fill the vacancy in the office of the vice president as early as possible. Specific time period is not mentioned. That's what Article 68 says. Time of holding election to fill vacancy in the office of vice president and the term of office of person elected to fill casual vacancy. An election to fill a vacancy caused by the expiration of the term of office of the vice president shall be completed before the expiration of the term. So if any vacancy is going to arise in the office of the vice president because of the tenure getting over, then in such a situation, an election to fill the office of the vice president must be taken up even before the completion of the tenure. But an election to fill a vacancy in the office of the vice president occurring by reason of the death, resignation or removal, then the election has to be then the election for this has to be held as early as possible. The election shall be held as soon as possible after the occurrence of the vacancy because of death, resignation or removal. In addition to this, a person who gets elected to the office of the vice president because there is a vacancy in the office of the vice president because of death, because of resignation, because of the removal, a new vice president who is chosen will have a full tenure of 5 years, not the remainder tenure. That's again very important. Then Article 69, it is related to the oath taken by the vice president. See, the vice president of India will take oath by saying that I swear in the name of the God and solemnly affirm that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India. I will bear true faith and allegiance, loyalty to the Constitution of India as established by law, and I will faithfully discharge duties upon which I am about to enter. So this is the oath or affirmation for Vice President of India explained by Article 69. Then Article 70. Article 70 says, if any vacancy arises, Parliament may make such provisions as it thinks fit for the discharge of the functions of the President in any contingency not provided in this chapter. For example, so the Constitution says, if there is any vacancy in the office of the President because of death, resignation, removal, Vice President will act as President. If there is any difficulty in the President of India in discharging his duties because of absence or because of illness, the Vice President will act as the President. So any situation other than these mentioned in the Constitution, if there is any situation other than these mentioned in the Constitution, if there is any difficulty in the discharge of the functions of the President of India with respect to what is not mentioned in the Constitution of India, regarding that, Parliament will decide by making a law. That is 70. Then Article 71. Article 71, it is related to the disputes with respect to the election of the President and Vice President. All the doubts and disputes with respect to the election of the President and Vice President shall be inquired into and decided by the Supreme Court, whose decision shall be final. So if there is a dispute with respect to the election of the President or the Vice President, the matter can be taken before the Supreme Court. The matter cannot be taken before the High Court. And whatever the Supreme Court says, it is final and binding. That's what Article 71 says. Article 71 says. Then, with respect to the election of the President and Vice President, Parliament may by law regulate any matter. Parliament may by law regulate any matter relating to the election of the president and vice president. This is also part of Article 71. In addition to this, the election of a person as president or vice president shall not be called in question on the ground of the existence of any vacancy. I just told you, the 11th Constitution, this was inserted 71 in Article 71 Clause 4. In Article 71, Clause 4 was inserted through the 11th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1971. But then what is this amendment? Just because there is a vacancy in the electoral college, election of the president and the vice president cannot be questioned. That is 71 Clause 4. Then let us see some of the facts relating to the vice president. Who is the vice president of India? Who died when he is in office? It is Krishna Kant. Krishna Kant was the first vice president to die in office. Krishna Kant was the first vice president to die while he is in office of the vice president of India. Similarly, when two presidents, Dr. Zakir Hussain and Fakhruddin Ali Ahmad, died in office. So these two presidents, Zakir Hussain and Fakhruddin Ali Ahmad, these two presidents died while they are in the office of the president of India before completing their tenure. So in these two situations, the then vice presidents of India, V.V. Giri and B.D. Jatti, they acted as president. So when Zakir Hussain died in office, V.V. Giri acted as the president. When Fakhruddin Ali Ahmad died in office, B.D. Jatti acted as the president. And then similarly, when Dr. Rajendra Prasad was on a tour to USSR, when Dr. Rajendra Prasad was on a 15-day tour to USSR, for that period, the then vice president, Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishna, discharged the functions of the president when Rajendra Prasad was abroad on a tour to USSR for 15 days. Then similarly, the same Rajendra Prasad, when he was ill in July 1961, again Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan discharged the functions of the president. So there were two instances. June 1960, when Rajendra Prasad was abroad for 15 days in USSR, Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan discharged the functions of the president. Again, when Rajendra Prasad was ill in July 1961, Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan once again discharged the functions of the president. So that's it about the articles in the Indian Constitution relating to Vice President of India. Thank you.